Shocking news coming from New Zealand as their Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern is quitting ahead of this year's election, followed by a news of an Australian woman who broke a record for running through continents tip to toe. Good morning from Progresif TV News Studio 1, and I'm Hilya. New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern has made a surprise announcement. She is standing down and won't lead her party into October's general election. Ardern is saying she no longer has enough in the tank to lead. The shocking announcement comes as polling that indicates her Labour Party and faces a difficult path to re-election on 14th October. She has well detailed how 6 challenging years in the job had taken a toll. On Sunday, Labour MPs will vote to find her replacement when Ms Ardern will step down by 7th February. Ms Ardern said that she had taken time to consider her future, hoping to find the heart and energy to carry out the role. If no successor wins the support of 2/3 of the party halls, the vote will go to Labour's lay members. Ms Ardern became the world's youngest female head of government when she was elected Prime Minister in the year 2017, aged 37. She steered New Zealand through the COVID-19 pandemic and its recession, followed by the White Island volcano eruption and the shooting in Christchurch Mosque. Ms Ardern said that the past 5 years had been the most fulfilling of her life, but leading the country during the crisis was also difficult. Ms Ardern was globally seen as a political star because she led the Labour Party to a landslide election victory in 2020, capitalizing on her government's strong early response to the pandemic. However, her popularity was shrinking along the way. It even reached the lowest since she was elected. But Ms Ardern stressed that she was not resigning because she and the party were unpopular. Ms Ardern listed her government's achievement on climate change, social housing, and reducing child poverty as ones she was particularly proud of. But she said she hoped her legacy in New Zealand would be as someone who always tried to be kind. Up next, Australian runner had completed a record-breaking 5-month run from the tip to toe of Australia. Rikana Marie Butler finished her 6,300-kilometer journey on Monday, after doing a marathon every day for 150 days. Ms Butler's effort sets a new world record and has raised charity over $100,000 for Water Society. Ms Butler had been running professionally for years, but after missing out the qualification for the Tokyo Olympics, she set another life dream. She was going to run the entire length of Australia to break the record for the most consecutive daily marathons by a woman. Britain Kate Jaden held this marathon, also was the last runner to complete this record in 106 days. Australia is home to the richest biodiversity, yet the worst loss in the world. Therefore, Ms Butler set out the run to raise awareness for Australian animals and plant extinction crisis. It was tough going for Ms Butler from the beginning. She got 3 injuries in the first 3 weeks, and sometimes she ran in the severe raining, other times in heat upwards of 35 degrees Celsius. Her body learned to cope as she wound her way along Australia's forests, roads, and highways. How is her diet, you may ask? Ms Butler consumed between 5,000 and 6,000 calories a day, about 3 times the average of women's need. Throughout her running, she suffered sunburn, blisters, and aches. She jokes about being by every insect under the sun, like ants, mosquitoes, spiders, and more. Each morning, she goes through a constant brain fog and diffuse body fatigue, which makes her harder to handle. And by the time she ran into Melbourne, her feet had swollen an entire shoe and she had burned 10 pairs of runners. She crossed the finish line to news she had raised almost doubled her original fundraising target. Speaking to local current affair program, Ms Butler said she had been overwhelmed by the support. It is indeed a very long journey for Ms Butler, yet a very empowering act especially for women. That's all for today. This is Hilya reporting today's news, and stay tuned.